Hello, welcome back guys. It's another scary video and today's theme is the forest. Now, why are forests so scary? Is it because we can't see what's around us when we're in them? Is it because they get so dark? Is it because of all the creepy stories we all hear? Probably that one. Do you want to hear some of the worst though? Well, my name is Danny Burke and this is the top 10 scary forest stories. Starting off at number 10 now, we have the bunker. In 2014, two German friends were hiking in the woods in northern Germany when they saw some strange pipes sticking out from the ground. When they went to investigate, they found the entrance to a hidden bunker. After removing the old wooden door with a crowbar, they climbed inside. They found a labyrinth of endless hallways, each one as creepy as the next. Their voices echoed around the deathly silent corridors which smelt of sewage. The walls were covered in strange graffiti. They hit many dead ends before finally coming to this, a large steel door that had somehow been ripped off its hinges by something very powerful. After exploring some more, they found some graffiti that simply read, "Hello Satan, I love you." After taking a few more pictures, they decided it was probably best to leave. At number 9 now, we have the Stalker. This story comes from Reddit user Senor Puffy Pants. The name is about as fun as this story gets. He said that when he was a park ranger, he once led a trip of 8 school kids up Mount Sterling in North Carolina. They set up camp at the top of the mountain under a bright full moon, which lit up the whole area. He settled in for the night with a very clear view of the trail they had just walked up. As he drifted off to sleep, he saw something move on the trail. At first, he thought it must just have been a bear, but as he got closer, he saw it was actually a person. It was a man with no headlamp or any gear on, just on top of the mountain. The ranger froze and watched the man move closer to the camp. He could only see the outline of him in the dark. The man then surveyed the camp and then sat down under a tree facing the camp. The ranger decided to just wait it out and stared back at him in the dark. This went on until 3:30 in the morning when suddenly the man just stood up and headed back down the trail. To this day, the ranger has no idea who he was or what he wanted, and he never told the kids about this creepy stalker encounter. Moving on to number 8 now, we have red hair. This is a crazy story coming from California. Nicole Gurgeon was hiking with 2 other friends in Santa Barbara when she decided to take some pictures of her friends descending down a cliff face before seeing something in the corner of her eye, a small flicker of red hair. Right there. Then she saw it move. They hurried over and found Sailor Gwilliams, a hiker who had fallen off the cliff earlier. She had broken her elbow and ankle. By the time Nicole found her, Sailor's lungs had given out and she was lying face down in the mud and leaves, surrounded by buzzing flies. It turns out her friend had also injured himself but had died while trying to get help. Nicole was amazed that she managed to spot Sailor at all, and many people said she would have died if she hadn't dyed her hair red. Next up at number 7 now, we have the cabin in the woods. This is creepy but also kind of fascinating. In 2015, rangers deep in California's Acanta forest found a cabin. It wasn't just any old pile of wood either, it was a solid, expertly built home with a concrete foundation. It had a porch, windows, and a fully equipped interior. It was also perfectly concealed. The people who found it said that if you walked more than 15 feet away from the cabin, you struggled to see it again through the trees. There were no trails that led to the house and not a single piece of trash in sight. They found a newspaper there dated from just a few months before, but of course there was no sign of the owner. When they left, they hung a sign up for the owner telling them that they had to leave the property. When they returned a few days later, they found it had gone. As in, the whole cabin and everything in it had disappeared without a trace. What do you guys make of this mystery? Got any good theories? Because I really don't. At number 6 now, we have the toys. This is another creepy story from Reddit coming from user Genesis Pro Torch. He said that a group of teens from his area hadn't been heard from after a camping trip. He decided to join the search and rescue team and headed out to the general area. After hiking through the woods all day, they found nothing. But about 35 kilometers into the woods, they began to notice strange things around them. There were sticks carved like spears in the ground, carvings in the trees, and a child's stuffed animal hanging from a noose in a tree. Everything seemed freshly carved, as if it had just been done a few hours before. They kept hiking before eventually making camp for the night, trying to put the day's images to the back of their minds. The next morning they packed up the gear when they noticed a small bit of shirt that had got caught on a tree and ripped along with some shoe prints. They thought, great, the teens must be nearby then. That's when they got a call from base camp that the teens had just been found 20 kilometers away. Chills ran down their spines. If that wasn't left by the teens, then who was it left by? Moving on to number 5 now, we have Wessie. Deep in the woods near Present Scott River in Maine, people have found a disturbing piece of skin. A huge piece of skin, specifically a giant snake skin. Locals have said for years that they've always seen a massive snake just slithering between the trees, but the reports weren't really taken too seriously until they found a 10-foot long piece of snake skin. People refer to the snake as Wessie, a play on the famous Nessie, aka the Loch Ness Monster. Experts say that Wessie was probably a boa or python snake and was a pet that either escaped or was just dumped. At number 4 now, we have the ghost. Reddit user Zombie Gandafi said that back in the 80s, his uncle and some friends were on a road trip passing the Grand Canyon when they decided to take some pictures. This is one of them. The uncle is there posing precariously on the edge of the cliff. It wasn't until after the picture they noticed something in the photo, or should I say someone. Right there at the edge of the tree line appears to be a man dressed in all black with a pale face and a knowing smile. The uncle maintained that they were the only people at that spot on the day. In fact, the area was almost empty as it wasn't even tourist season. Speculation about who this figure was has ranged from him being a wandering ghost to the Grim Reaper himself. Moving on to number 3 now, we have the Suicide Forest. Aokigahara Forest in Japan sprawls for 35 square kilometers near Mount Fuji. The vegetation there is so dense that it's sometimes referred to as the Sea of Trees. Unfortunately, it also has another name, the Suicide Forest. That's because it's gained a reputation for being one of the world's most popular suicide spots. It's thought that at least 100 people kill themselves in the woods every single year. Sometimes bodies aren't discovered for months, years, or maybe not at all. Coming at number 2 now, we have Latin. This one comes from Reddit user BrownCow5. It's a bit of a short one, but pretty sweet. Or rather, short but creepy. She said that one day her and her friend were hiking in the middle of nowhere during winter. They were going through the trees when they came to a clearing. They realized there was writing drawn in the snow in front of them. The words were in Latin and read per audacia ag ignotum. There were no footprints leading to or away from the writing. When they got back home, they translated it to read through audacity towards the unknown. What was going on there? Really creepy. For me, that's almost like someone was just zapped into a parallel universe after leaving that writing. What do you guys think? And finally, number 1 now, we have the alien. One night in 2015, Gianna Peponis of San Jose heard a scream in her backyard just hours after a nearby UFO sighting. She ran out to investigate and found this. She didn't know what it was, but she knew it was dead. Gianna posted pictures to Facebook in the hopes of her friends being able to identify it, but everyone was just stumped. One user simply said, "I don't know what it is. If your friend is brave enough to remove it from their property, remind them to salt the ground. Nothing good can ever happen there now." Okay. That is really intense. A different friend suggested it may have just been a deer fetus that was partially eaten by predators. Creepy either way. What do you guys make of it? And what do you make of the whole video in general? I tried to do a mix of pictures, places, and stories from people online in this one. Which one of those do you prefer? Maybe I'll do more of them in a part 2. Let me know. I am Danny Burke. Thank you as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.